what is going to be the actual end state? What's an acceptable end state?
know.
We're never going back to what it was before this.
No, like that's
we
like
can't.
people are like, oh, if we, if you just this and that. I'm like, do you not understand what happened here?
No.
Like, this is,
for example, I'll give you a perfect
allies,
example.
like Saudi Arabia is like, oh my God, we are going to pull back from, we're not funding the Metropolitan ARPA. We're not funding y'all golf courses anymore. A, because we're pissed at you, but B, because we now have to build up our own East-West gas pipeline again.
This part. So the bases that got bombed out, 17, 18, however many they're saying, I don't see the incentive for the Gulf states to let us back up in there, because those bases were there to provide safety and stability so this doesn't happen. We, the United States, failed in that mission. And as a matter of fact, because they had the bases there, that's why they got bombed. Why would you let us back in?
This is the interesting thing, right? This bargain that had been made between the United States and Saudi back in 40s and 50s, which was oil for weapons. Yes. They did not need to have the type of military the United States has, because the United States was going to have bases and help supply that. That expanded to the other petro states. So you have the Gulf petro states on one side, you have Israel on the other. This was the U.S. grand strategy, fingers in the pie, boxing in the Irans and other actors in the region. But like you said, those bases then became the liability. It was a very easy target. The United States wasn't prepared. You have the Saudi military defending the U.S. embassy in Riyadh.
That part.
Right. You have Kuwaitis accidentally shooting down 3 F-15s because no one bothered to tell them those were Americans flying in their airspace. Like,
it was absolute cluster. And that's the point. That's the problem. There is no longer strategic value if I am Qatar, with the largest air base we have in the region. If I'm Bahrain, the headquarters of Fifth Fleet, which one of my offices was at, there's no reason. UAE, Jebel Ali, all those places. Why would we want America there? And Saudi Arabia was catching hell. I mean, Osama bin Laden hit us because Saudi Arabia allowed military base of Americans in that country.
Yeah, but then the Bush administration helped all the Saudi ambassadors and the Osama bin Laden's family, everybody else, they took care of them within 24 hours of 9/11, right? And the most underreported story of that era is how many Saudi citizens were part of those hijackers. Right? That is not. It went into war on terror. It did not. Right? The U.S. did a very good job as a government of making sure the Saudis directly did not suffer. And then now you're at Trump, where he just kind of forgot that Iran would attack our allies in the region. But also, I think the Saudis forgot. I mean, they were not unhappy that Iran has been getting attacked. They expected more competence from the United States.
Do we know how pissed off the Gulf states are at us? Any indications? Because
I think this is an interesting moment. When Trump was down in Miami, I believe it was. He was down in Florida for a Saudi investment conference.
Yes.
The Saudis are hosting a conference in Florida. Trump is at this event, and with a Saudi ambassador sitting in front of him and not having talked to Mohammed bin Salman, the prince, at all, Trump delivers a speech in which he says that, they all thought that I'd have to be kissing their ass, and now they're kissing my ass instead. That did not go down so well.
Man.
Like comments, I'm like, oh, okay. You thought you were being funny, right? No, you don't mess with these people like that. No.
Not when they're giving billions.
That's like insult on top of injury. Like you should have been thanking the Saudi government for their defense of U.S. installations, of U.S. personnel, of American citizens. Like, that's the way you do that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the anger may be delayed because right now they're still processing immediate impacts, right? Dubai lost the airport. All of the expats have left. They don't know when they're going to come back in. So this economy that was built on financial trade deals, how does that happen? Qatar was going to be pivoting out of being a petro state into technology and innovation. And you're like, okay, now how do we do that? No one wants to come through here.
And that's the thing.
They're now looking at how do their visions for their futures, their own economic well-being, have been disrupted by this. They don't know when that's going to get back on the path. And then there's also this idea of like, well, the US is a unreliable partner, and Saudi, I mean, they're part of the OPEC cartel, right? Russia's in there.
Right.
They don't, right? Like, this is kind of like Russia's in there. Russia's clearly shipping drones and all sorts of things all over the place. China's sitting over there. They just got Trump to talk shit about Taiwan. And not like the US can actually right now give other people munitions and weapons, since we need to restock our own. So China's sitting there looking at this like, oh, if we make a move on Taiwan, the US is too distracted. They're not literally, like you said, we don't have the capacity or the capability to defend our interests in the South China Sea right now. We don't.
Exactly. And I was going to get to these two in a second, but let's go there now. Trump flies all the way to Beijing to accomplish what? What was accomplished by him going all the way out there? He was talking noise before he got there, didn't really say much while he was there, and didn't say anything as he came back. So I'm asking, what was the point? What was the point of this?
I think China got a lot out of this, right? They were seen as on equal footing with the United States, like equal world powers, not world superpower and wannabe. Typically, when the United States has gone in at that high level, there is still some kind of chastising. We're going to talk to you about human rights. We're going to tell you that you need to democratize your economy and like all of this stuff, where kind of speaking from a higher perch. Trump didn't do any of that. Trump actually kind of went hat in hand, like, hey, you want to buy our airplanes, right? We got soybeans, we got some beef. Like, you want a little bit of this, you want a little bit of that. And China's like, we want your entire electronic vehicle market.
Yeah.
We want you to open the market so that we can collapse your auto industry.
Yep. BYD. Because the second they get here, the second those electric cars, for those who don't know, China is light years ahead of us on like electric vehicles. I'm talking range. I'm talking
electric, green, everything.
It's over if one of those get here.
When Secretary of Energy Granholm went over there to China, and she was like, oh my God, like, she saw their train. She's like, how did you guys do this? So, and they laughed like, we don't have elections.
Good Lord.
Right. And she's like, we don't have elections. And she's like, right. It's a command. They plan the economy. They implement it. There's no wrangling back and forth of this interest, that interest. There's a lot that's lost along the way, but that kind of quick progress that you can make when you have that centralization. Yes, that's what they did. And that's been the American reality for 10 years. Like, I'm talking Secretary Granholm. I'm not even talking this administration.
Yes. And that's the other. So the tech bros were in tow with that trip because of what you're basically mentioning right here. Ladies and gentlemen, the secret that Trump is desperately trying to hide is we have been left behind. And a lot of it is due to his policies. If y'all remember, Elon Musk was pissed off at Trump before he jumped on board, because Trump was going to slash all of that the electric vehicle programs, all of these things, that new age tech. And what was Trump saying on the campaign trail? Good old clean coal and oil and drill, baby, drill. All these things, like a broke ass J.R. Ewing from Dallas. It was just terrible. And because we're stuck in the 80s with the verbology that they use to talk tough, with the damn policies they use, since we're still talking about last century, we're getting left behind systemically and strategically. And America, we are the last to recognize it. The rest of the world is known.
What China really did in this, and the symbolism matters so much to them. Like, I don't even think Trump realized how much he got played, where they like, oh yeah, we'll roll out a red carpet for you. We'll make you feel good. We'll have a crowd of cheering children talking about how you're great. And the second your vehicle goes by, they're going to stop cheering because they were told to stop.
Yes. Hard stop. I noticed that too. And here's the other piece to this. While that was going on, Chinese vessels in the Strait of Hormuz were allowed to transit. The Iranians were like, go ahead, because they're the biggest supplier of oil to China in that region. And the United States knew not to mess with Chinese flag vessels. Double punked.
And they actually got the US president, like I said, to talk shit about Taiwan.
That, which
again, the symbolism on the words, that matters in the Chinese view of the political game. So they came out like gangbusters out of this.
What does Taiwan do with this new reality? What does ASEAN do with this new reality?